Hi, I'm Tony, I'm from Atomos, and I want to show you what we're doing at NAB 2016, some really exciting products to show you. So for those that don't know Atomos, the clue is in the brochures that we've got: rec, play, monitor, edit. We combine professional recording, playback, monitoring and editing in a very elegant 7-inch or 5-inch model touchscreen. This really means that you can add ProRes to any camera. You've got a standard monitoring set of tools for any camera, be it any brand or any model, and it really is your Swiss Army knife for professional productions. What we're doing at NAB 2016 is really around HDR. HDR, we've now expanded to 8 models, and we're super pumped about what it's going to do for end users and shooters alike. So for those that don't know HDR, it stands for High Dynamic Range, and it's all about expanding the brightness range that you're capable of seeing on screens and shooting on these cameras. It's really about, instead of the number of pixels that you see on a screen, it's really about the brightness range of each of those pixels. So you'll see screens from Dolby, you're seeing screens this year coming out from all the flat screen manufacturers, which is going to take the standard dynamic range and expand that, brighter whites and deeper blacks in the same image. It's really exciting at how more real the image looks with that. What we've done is really delivered a monitoring solution for the field, so that you can record, monitor in the field, and then in post-production deal with HDR in a really easy to use way. The best news is that from a camera point of view, you've already got functionality that cameras are out there now, and DSLRs. Anything with a log output is already delivering 12, 14, 15 stops of dynamic range. This is high dynamic range. But the problem has been that it's had to deliver these 15, 14 stops of dynamic range to screens that are only got 6 stop capability. So they're having to take the 14 stops and apply a log curve to fit it inside the 6 stop limitation that SDR really is. And that results in this kind of image here. So what we have is we've got a Panasonic Vericam coming in over SDI into the Shogun Flame and then out to the original Shogun. And if you look on the top one, you can clearly see this is a washed out image that's notorious for log. So the shooter is happy because he's got all of the dynamic range off the sensor, but a director looking over his shoulder is going to think, that doesn't look very good. It looks all washed out and unnatural. And when it comes to judging exposure, you might incorrectly think it's looking a little bit hot. You might start to pull back a couple of stops of exposure incorrectly by looking just at the image on the screen. So we don't want that. We want you to maximize the stops that you can get out of these amazing sensors. So the solution is to shoot monitoring HDR on units like the Shogun Flame. So let me show you that. At the moment, we've just got our normal log footage. If I toggle it across to Atom HDR, what you'll notice is as I go from full SDR, at the moment we're here, you can see 100% 709, I'm going to slide from SDR through to HDR, increasing the dynamic range that you can see in the shot, and what you'll notice on the waveform is there'll be a line move up and down. It's the clipping point of our scene. So instead of having to guess exposure on a washed out image, you now have a series of tools that you can set the clipping point to the top of your waveform. If I move it across and change the dynamic range of the scene, maybe the glitter there, you can see here that I can change this to the correct point for clipping. And now you're getting full high dynamic range. This is what you're going to see after you finish in post-production, but you're seeing it in the field. So you can now get, with confidence, exposure settings on the camera correct, and you know that you're not going to bring the footage into post-production a couple of stops down because you made the wrong decision in the field. So that's HDR. Not only can you see it on the screen, we can also output a PQ signal, which is the SMPTE standard for the luminance of HDR. You're able to see that on a big screen. You can output it to HDR screens, and excitingly, for people that are doing HDR and NLEs in post, you can take a PQ input and grade HDR using what you're seeing on the Shogun as well. So it really is a very versatile HDR monitor that lets you not only see your result in HDR, you're able to take it out to a HDR monitor and grade using it in post. And we think we've done it in a very simple way, so it takes the guesswork out of it. So That's very exciting. The other additions that we've done, moving from Shogun to Shogun Flame, is we've added in dual battery system. These are all feedback that we've got from end users. We've had over 20,000 Shogun purchases, and so we get lots of feedback about what we could do better. We've added in dual battery system for continuous power. When one depletes, the other one switches over. And you can also see very visually we've added in some bumpers and a more rugged looking exterior just to protect from knocks and bumps, and it's really gone up a grade in terms of the industrial design. So that's what we've got. The new Flame series, which adds HDR, it adds continuous power, adds PQ with an update next month as well. We've got the Ninja Flame coming in at $12.95 with a HDMI only model. The Shogun Flame that's available at $16.95 with SDI, HDMI and XLR, and they're available now. And in Q3 of this year, we'll be shipping the Shogun Inferno, which will bump up the recording from 4K 30p, which these do, to 4K 60p, and takes HD up to 240 frames per second. So higher recording capability, additional SDI inputs on the back, so you can get quad SDI inputs, so you can take it from 6G cameras, 3G cameras, all doing 4K. You won't have to buy converters, they go straight in on the back. And that's the Shogun Inferno. That'll be $19.95 available Q3. So that's what we've been showing you here at Atomos. We've got heaps of other announcements. We've got a relationship with G-Tech, which we're previewing at the show. We've got new X-ray calibration solutions that have come through that allows you to, just as you calibrate in post on your monitors, you're now able to calibrate these units as well. And it's all here to get hands-on with at the Atomos booth at NAB. So if you're around, swing by and come and check it all out.